it's Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Welcome to my August 2019 astrological forecast. So when we look at August, the first half of August is punctuated by a lot of fun, creativity, and happiness, as well as budding romances. The second half of August has us being a little more circumspect and paying more attention to details regarding maybe these new loves that we've had in our lives, or creating things of substance, and that could include things like sculpturing and painting as well. Okay, so let's get into the details. We're still at the beginning of August, coming off that beautiful new moon in Leo that we had here on the west coast in the USA on the 31st, but other parts of the world have it on the 1st of August. And this just kicks off August with a resounding, happy, cheerful, let's have a party type energy, where we're going to want to invite people over to our homes to celebrate things. Okay, so you're going to want to have fun. That's what that new moon is all about. Now on the 2nd of August, we have Mercury retrograde at 23 degrees of Cancer, 59 minutes, is now going direct. Now it's still not out of its shadow, but at least it's going direct. So I'll talk a little bit more about out of its shadow in a few minutes. Now on the 11th of August, we have two things happening. One is Uranus goes retrograde at 6 degrees of Taurus till the 11th of January 2020. And as you may recall, that 10th, 11th of January 2020 is a very important time historically for us collectively as well as individually, because it's when Saturn and Pluto are in conjunction with each other at 22 degrees of Capricorn. And don't forget that Mercury will also be there, conjuncting both those planets. So this may mark a time where a culmination and a real action will take place around the 10th of 11th of Jan. So pay attention to what happens, and it could even be on an internal level, because this is Uranus going retrograde. So now we take Uranus's energies and bring them internally. So we make the changes in ourselves, these maybe radical changes, and then those will then in turn be expressed more outwardly and more concretely in mid-January 2020. So these areas of our life, for those that want to know, can involve money and love, as well as our values. And the reason for that is because Venus is ruling Taurus, which is where Uranus is going retrograde in. Okay. Now, we also have on the 11th of August, we have Jupiter going direct. And that's at 14 degrees Sagittarius. So now things can move forward, especially for Sagittarians, right? It's a lucky time because we still have Jupiter in its own home sign. It confers even greater abilities to bring happiness and good luck. And so just look forward to things that have maybe been stalled and not moving forward. That this is the day when things actually seem to move forward and start expanding in a very good, pleasurable way for us. The 15th of August, we've got a full moon. It is actually in Aquarius, which is a sign that is ruled by Uranus. And we remember that I just spoke about Uranus being retrograde. Now it'll be retrograde here for a while, like I said, so that'll be the 11th of Jan. So this full moon has Venus pitted in an opposition to the moon, but conjunct the sun. And the image that I got for that configuration was Lion Tamer. Even though it is not in the sign of Leo, it is in the opposite sign of Aquarius. That's the image I got. So I think we have to also use care when we get preoccupied with the packaging of our object, of our affections, and then you forget what's really inside. So this may bring up some kind of situation like that, where we've been focusing and mesmerized by the packaging of our love, and now we're starting to see what's inside this person. Or it could be a friend as well, what's inside this friend. It could be a time too where you You've been waiting for things like money maybe to come your way. And with this full moon being a culmination, this actually happens for you, right? Now, we actually have at this same full moon, we have Mercury. Remember I talked about that going out of shadow. Mercury at 4 degrees of Leo is now out of its shadow period. So now we're completely finished with that Mercury retrograde, which I think probably gave us all some rattling, some positive and some negative in July, right? Okay, so on the 24th of August, we have a very lovely conjunction of Venus and Mars at 3-4 degrees of Virgo. And what this actually says really is that you're going to have romance potentially, but you're going to just be a little more circumspect about it, and pay a little more attention to the details, just like Virgo does, right? Because this is in the sign of Virgo, this conjunction of Venus and Mars. So this isn't a time where you'll be just rushing into romance. You'll definitely have a connection potentially with somebody, but you'll be a little more circumspect with regards to falling head over heels in love with them. All right, so we have, on the 30th of August, we have a new moon. And this is at 6 degrees of Virgo. And we have other planets that are in there. We just talked about Venus and Mars, right? And we also have these conjunctions happening with Venus and the Sun and the Moon, because this is a new moon, the Sun and Moon are together. So, and then we've got Mars as well, right? So this is a very interesting, beautiful setup. This new moon and Sun actually trine Uranus as well. So this is like exciting flutterings of your heart, and really could bring something very unique into your life that is emotionally stimulating, but in a very good way, not in a negative way. Now, certainly in the atmosphere and on Earth, we could have some strange weather patterns happening, including earthquakes again. So those are going to be there just by virtue of that Uranus being in Taurus, right? But it's retrograde as well at this time. So I think this is just going to be some feel-good energy that's unexpected, that, you know, it brings in, like I said, with the Mars and Venus, potential new romance, but it'll be an earthed romance as opposed to one in fire, say, or in water, which would be, you know, sinking into our emotions a lot. We're going to just be practical about it and pay attention to the details. We may have some emotional surprises on the 30th of August around this new moon in Taurus. So the other thing that this can happen, of course, is creating things. We could actually be creating things with this Mars and Venus in the earth sign of Virgo. And that would be things like sculptures and things like that. So that's how we end the month of August. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of what's happening out there in the sky that you can go and see. And all these things are going to be in the evening sky. Lots happening in August. So for that romance that you're having at the beginning of the month of August, it might be fun to take your partner out and see some of these things. So the first one we have is on the 9th of August. And we have Jupiter is going to be close, within 2 degrees of the moon, which is awesome. So you'll first of all see the moon, obviously, and then you'll see Jupiter quite close by. Now, if you've got some binoculars or a telescope, it's so bright at Jupiter at this time and close that you may actually see its 4 moons. So you get your binoculars as well and see if you can see that. 9th of August. 12th of August, after sunset, that's in the southeast sky, by the way, the Jupiter and moon. So on the 12th of August, after sunset, we're going to be able to see at least 2 planets, but at least know intuitively the other planet there. So first of all, we'll see Jupiter shining very brightly up in the sky. This is after sunset, and you can use this Jupiter as your guide. Okay, so we will be looking in the west. So Jupiter will be up there, and then just right underneath it, we'll have Saturn. And then Saturn and Pluto are conjuncting at this time. Now you will need a telescope to see Pluto, but if you don't, that's all right. Just know that that bright, shining, forward-moving Jupiter is out there shining and giving benefits to all of us. Followed by that Saturn and Pluto conjunction. So you'll be able to see Saturn, and then you'll know that Pluto's right beside it, conjuncting it. And that's all within 2 minutes, not 2 degrees, 2 minutes. The Saturn and Pluto, which is rare. This is a rare thing, right? This Saturn, Jupiter seeing it. In our lifetime, we won't have that again. Well, not in terms of the closeness that it is right now. So the Moon and Pluto are within 5 minutes, which is also close. So the Moon will be around there, the 12th of August too. Now you might want to wait a few hours because of this Moon giving off some light pollution, and then use the Saturn and the Moon to guide you. On the 13th of August, we have the peak of the Perseid Showers. So this is a shower of meteors that we have every August. It's just that the peak day changes. So this year it's the 13th of August, and you can have up to 80 meteors per hour. So look for them radiating out from the northeast sky. The moon, unfortunately, is going to be quite bright on this evening, so you might have to wait a little bit to see that moon go away, but they'll still be out there. The 15th of August, just after sunset in the western sky, we have brilliantly super sparkling Venus. It will be at its greatest brightness. And Mars will be right above the horizon too. So this is a chance for you to take your astrology and actually practically see it in the night sky. So this is your Venus coming close to conjunct Mars. The last one that I saw was for the 21st of August. And this is the peak of another meteor shower called the Cygnid meteor showers. Now you're going to have to look high above the northeastern horizon. And here you get about 5 meteors per hour. Right, well that's it for me. Have a fun time. Certainly plan a party to have lots of your fun friends over in August. And enjoy the bromance that's around. Take care. If you want your chart read, I would be delighted to do it. Go to my website, elpisastrology.com, and my services tab. Contact me from there, and we'll set something up for you. I look forward to speaking with everybody and seeing everybody probably towards the end of August for my September video. Remember, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, probably towards the end of August, where I'll be devoting an enormous amount of time to my astrology. And I'll give you more details about that in my next video. Take care, everybody.